Hey guys, Kev here, and I wanted to do a comparison of these two knives. These are two Divo knives. This is the Divo Knives Mash V2, and this is the Divo Knives Buzz. And I've had a few questions on Instagram, and so people have asked for a sort of comparison or a side by side so people could know the difference, because I guess some people are getting these two confused. And I could see that the design language is very similar. I mean, they're both our knives, so it makes sense. But they are, in my opinion, wildly different, and they're for different sort of parts of collecting and whatnot, I think, use and whatnot. So yeah, let's kind of talk about it. This one is the Divo Knives Mash V2. This is a Blue Creek Knives exclusive. So what does that mean? That means you can only buy this at Blue Creek Knives. You can't buy a mash anywhere else unless you get it from us at like Blade Show at the table or something, right? So that's what an exclusive is. It is $135 retail. If you use my code LeftyEDC, it's like $122 out the door. It came in 4 variations so far. There's a V1 with a plain titanium satin hardware machine satin blade. There's a reverse tux version, so plain tie handle, black hardware, black wash blade, like this, but with this color titanium. Then we did a V2, this one, and we did 2 versions. This sort of blurpily color ano, black with black, and then we did a black titanium with satin hardware and satin blade. The V2 is right now available at Blue Creek Knives. I don't know if it'll be available when this posts, but if you see this and you want one, you can go check bluecreekknives.com. There's a link down below. Make sure you use that code LeftyEDC. And we also had hardware kits available in purple, blue, green, and black on that drop. So hopefully you can pick up what you need there. But there was like 80 of them left, and that's it for a while on this one. We have some other projects we want to knock out before we do another run. And so if you're looking to get one, or if you've been on the fence, I would recommend you pick one up. But I'm filming this on May 5th, so I apologize if they're not available anymore when this posts. But we'll see. You know, there's always that point where you kind of meet demand and things slow down. So we may have hit that point. But I love this knife. It does not have a finger choil. It just has a sort of ergonomic handle that allows you to choke up on it. Jimping goes up to the end of the hole here. It does have a hollow grind. It is 14C 28N steel. So 14C 28N, and it has a steel liner lock. Titanium scales, steel liner lock, 14C. Titanium hardware and steel wire clip. It has a hole for deployment only. So you can thumb flick it like you just saw, and you can reverse flick it like you just saw. Then you can, you can slow roll it. Some people do the flicks like this. I can't do them. Action's really good on these. Kubi was the OEM on this project. And yeah, it's, just under 4 ounces, I believe, maybe just at 4 ounces. And it's a sweet knife. I really enjoy it. I think it's a good knife to use. I think it's a good knife to collect. I think it's a good knife to fidget. So it checks a lot of boxes. It has a modified sheep's foot blade, so you'll see some belly in there. But definitely a sheep's foot, or if you want to call it a reverse tanto blade there. And that is the Divo Knives Mash. This is the Divo Knives Buzz. This knife is not an exclusive of any dealer. This is a knife we sell directly. We sell it through dealers as well. You can get it at Blade HQ, Urban EC, Blue Creek Knives, White Mountain Knives. They don't all have them right now, but at one point they have or will. It is more expensive. This knife is titanium scaled, titanium hardware, just like that, 20 CV blade steel, and this one has a titanium liner with steel insert. So that altogether just costs more to do. And then the OEM is Best Tech Knives instead of Kubi. So this one retail is $330. So there's a bit of a difference there. This one on the satin versions has a belt satin, hollow ground belt satin, where the satins on this one are machined. Little less expensive to do it that way, and Kubi currently does not offer a belt satin, although I am trying to rectify that. But there's also a black wash version of this. So there's a reverse tux, which is bead blast handle, black hardware, black wash blade. There's a tux version, which is black washed handle, satin hardware, belt satin blade like this. Then there's a silver fox, we call it. It's all stonewash. Stonewash blade, handle, and the hardware is actually satin. And then there's a fully blacked out version, which is black wash with black hardware. So there's 4 versions of this knife. We did have some extra scales made like this, which are knurled or diamond textured. There's only like 30 or so sets of them, and they're not available at dealers or anything. I've just kind of sold them first come, first serve to people who DM me. So I don't know if I'll have any left when this video drops, but if you want to check, you certainly can. I have black available right now, and that's it. We were already out of the plain ones. There was only like 10 of those to begin with, but we do have Zircuti backspacers available on the website right now. You can pick those up for $75. You can always use code LeftyEDC on our website. But yeah, so differences on that. Titanium liner with steel insert just costs more to do. It's a little bit more machine time. It's just a little bit more of a detail, if you know what I mean. You have the belt satin, of course, and you have the 20 CV blade steel versus 14C 28M. The blade on this is a Wharncliffe style blade, so it's more of a straight edge than this one, which has that little bit of belly in it, right? The deployment holes are similar. They're not the same, but they are a similar shape. But the Buzz also has what we call the buzz cut sort of top flipper. I wouldn't call it a front flipper because it's pretty hard to do it up here. You kind of got to come up top and then hit it like a Bic lighter. That's how I kind of put it. This is not a Bic lighter, but it's a lighter just to indicate what I'm talking about. You know how you kind of swipe across a Bic lighter, roll that wheel down, and pop it like this? That's essentially what you're doing here, right? And then you can also, if your fingers and the detent are inclined, grab it and flick it like that. That does tear my finger up a little bit because I like stiff detents, and I grabbed one that was pretty stiff, and my skin's kind of collecting in there. But there's multiple ways to deploy this knife, and that is obviously a difference. The wire clip is different. This one is a little bit more streamlined, a little bit lower, and rounded, where this one's a little bit more squared. It's a little longer, and it sticks up a little more. There are different ways of doing it. This one doesn't ramp at the end like this one. So some people don't like that. Some people love that because it kind of means it's flat. Where this one is just, to me, it's so low that you don't even feel it. But technically, it's sticking up a little bit. But I don't even feel the clip in my hand. This one has a 50-50 finger choil. So as I was saying about the mash, you don't have a choil here, but you can choke up. This has a dedicated forward finger choil, so you can come up here and really choke up on that blade, right? Thickness behind the edge on these is both very good in my opinion. I think the Buzz is going to be a little bit thinner, but let's measure them because I think both are going to be around 15. I could be wrong, though. See if I can even get the measurement. That's not right. 7 thousandths? Come on, dude. 10 thousandths? Holy shit. Hold on. I mean, that's pretty zeroed out, if you ask me. 8,000s. That just seems crazy to me. $10,000s. 6,000s. There's no way that's right. I mean, it's fucking thin, but I don't think it's 6,000s. That just seems silly, right? I know the Pony Stout, I measured this prototype at right around 12. It's another one of our models. It does feel a little thicker, but it's definitely not thick. If 12,000s is thick now, we're in trouble. 12, 13. That's fucking insane if these are that thin. $10 there. Gonna totally stab myself, guys. $12. Okay. So they're fucking thin. All right. They're very thin behind the edge. That's one of the things we really like to do with our knives is get them nice and thin. While I'm here, let's measure the Growler prototype, because this is a flat grind, but it's a really tall grind, so it should come down to a pretty thin edge. Now, I do want to note that I'm measuring this with a flat surface, and I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but 15, 13, yeah, that makes sense. So we do try to make good cutters, good users, and I think we accomplished that on pretty much all of these. Another one I wouldn't mind measuring since we're here is the nip. This is one of our newest models, also a hollow grind. And somebody was asking how thin it was because they said they're sick of these little knives being like not very thin. So I want to see how we did on this guy. 7, 6, 6,000s. Am I fucking crazy? I'm down there a bit, and that's 10. Jesus. All right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they feel thin, but I didn't think they felt that thin. So my measurements could be off a little bit. Don't hold me to all these numbers, but here's a Best Tech knife that's hollow ground. This is the Relative. See, this feels like a nice deep hollow grind, but it does feel a little thicker. So let's see if we get a thicker read on this one. I love this knife, by the way. $12, $13, yeah. Okay, so it's looking like 10,000s on this. I did have an 8,000s behind the edge transparent knives reblade, and I mean it did feel similar to this, so that's insane. Either way, very, very happy with it. Very, very happy with both. So yeah, anyway, that's a comparison of the two. Nothing crazy. I just wanted to show you guys the differences, similarities. They definitely have our lines. You know, Colin is our, main designer. We all, we both tweak things. We both have original designs, and then, he takes those and turns them into what you end up with. So that's why I say he's the main designer, and he does all the, design work. Here's our slip joint design. It's an Urban EC knife, but it's our design. This is a flat grind, and I was hoping maybe they could switch it over to a hollow. I don't know if they'll be able to do that on something so thin. The knife itself is stupid thin. But, yeah, 18. I was getting 15. Yeah, I was getting 15 when I first checked it. And so that adds up. 15, 17. So a knife this thin, 0.31 stock, right? Or thick, 0.08 I think it is, or 0.09 on the stock, actually has a thicker edge, behind the edge thickness, than this knife that has a much thicker blade stock. So it's not always about the blade stock, right? Now, does that mean this knife cuts better than this knife? I don't know, because you have to wedge it through the material, where this is going to stay that nice and thin throughout, you know? So you got to take that into consideration. It's how do I put it? You know, there's a whole number of aspects to things. Thickness behind the edge does not mean everything. I just am pretty impressed with Best Tech and Kubi on those. This one, I'm like, they don't say it's manufactured by Riot, but I'm pretty sure it's manufactured by Riot. They could do a better job. I'm just saying, Riot, you could do a better job. All right, I'm going to shut up. That's it. Love you guys. Thank you for checking out this stupid ramble at the end here, but hopefully that helps answer some questions. The way I look at it is the mash is a value. I think it's a value. 14C titanium scales. You get a sort of, I would call it a premium design, right? But you get it at an affordable price, 120 bucks. The Buzz is not a value. It's, I think, priced well for what it is, $330. 20 CV, titanium, liner lock, all that good stuff. But it has those small details that you don't get here, right? So it's a nuanced thing. If you're somebody who just buys knives and enjoys them and doesn't get into the nitty gritty, I think you're really going to love the value here. If you're somebody who does get into those details like myself, then you might want to step up to something like the Buzz, if that makes sense. These will be available hopefully soon in the future. We're hoping to have some at Blade Show. Dealers should be dropping some soon, and there will be more later in May, maybe June. This is the last drop for a while that's up right now. So get to Blue Creek if you want this one, if they're still available. And check out Blade HQ, Urban EC, White Mountain Knives, and Divo Knives websites to stay tuned to this one, or hit me up. So, all right, I'm going to shut up. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.